¿Qué pasa to the pack? It's Pack here. Today's video, I'm covering a user-created roster. I've been enjoying making these videos of just talking about people's rosters and how sick they are. This one, someone actually fixed the all-time teams. The problem with all-time teams is, yeah, they're cool, but the best player ever on the Pacers, which is Reggie Miller, isn't on the team, and it kind of gets to a point if you don't have the best player, why even make the team, right? So what this dude did is he literally fixed the all-time teams. I'm covering that in today's video. If you like the channel, hey, join the pack and subscribe and leave a like on the video to help the video grow. Let's get this video started. So when you go to PS5, yes, this is only a PS5 roster. I know, I'm sorry. You can press search online ID, and you're gonna search up The Prophet 141. I'll type it out here just so you guys can see. The Prophet 141. And then it's going to be his only roster. It's complete all-time roster, a couple downloads, and we're gonna go all the way. We're gonna start with the Philadelphia 76ers, as I always do. I hate that I have to skim through all the G League teams though, just to get there. It's why? No one uses the G League teams if they're fake. So why would you even have them? It's just so dumb, but whatever. Okay, so there's a couple teams that obviously don't need many fixes, but there's other teams that do. So the 76ers now have Charles freaking Barkley on it. Now this is user created, it's a made up character, but it's pretty close. I mean, it kind of looks like him. The rating is correct. Glass cleaning slasher sounds about right for Charles Barkley, so that's pretty cool. You can keep going. And I think he touched up some ratings for some players, and he adds Larry Costello. I think, and then LOL, Ben Simmons as the worst player on the Sixers. The fact that Ben Simmons is even here just feels wrong. But I mean, you could argue he could be here, but whatever. For the Bucks, I don't know if he added Drew Holiday and Glenn Robinson or not, but they're on the team now. I don't know if the Bucks even got any changes. I think the Bucks are the same. But we have some, for example, Norm Van Leer and Chet Walker now on the Bulls, who are all-time players. Older players for sure. And then Reggie Theus on the team. With the Cavs, I think one of the big ones was John Johnson being added. And then you had another player I don't know if Ron Harper was already on the team. I feel like he was, but I think he changed the rating for Ron Harper. You got to remember, he was an all-star for the Cavs. So you could make the argument. The only reason they lost is because Michael Jordan hit that stupid buzzer beater, right? So besides that, Ron Harper would have been known as a much bigger Cavs legend, right?
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
For the Celtics, I'm going to assume there's no changes for the Celtics because there's no reason to add. I think maybe Bill's already there, so I don't know. I guess there's no I mean, it makes sense that there's no change with the Celtics. There's already so many legendary players. With the Clippers, I know he added Randy Smith, and then he also added a pretty big one in Jamal Crawford because 2K lost the rights to Jamal. Now you have a lot more fun version of a character. The thing is, Jamal Crawford, I mean, he had so many Six Man of the Years with the Clippers. Of course, he's on the all-time Clippers team. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. was already on the all-time Grizzlies, but the player that he added that was super important was Pau Gasol. 2K lost the rights to Pau Gasol. You can't not have this team without Pau Gasol, so there you go. With the Atlanta Hawks, Lenny Wilkins was added. I didn't even know they lost. I thought they had Lenny Wilkins already, but I guess they lost the rights to him. So now you add Lenny Wilkins, Ron Roundfield. Who else? I mean, you had some pretty big names here. So the Atlanta Hawks are now a lot deeper. The reason why this is important is because, you would hate to go to an all-time team and, for example, with the Grizzlies, Greg Anthony's your best, last best player. How did Greg Anthony make this team, right? So when you add some depth, now Al Horford's the worst player on the Hawks, right? And he's an all-star for the Hawks. So it makes it seem stacked how it's supposed to be, right? With the Miami Heat, I don't think he's going to add anybody. I think they have everyone. Yeah, they already have everyone for the Miami Heat. With the Hornets, I would not be surprised if he added someone like Al Jefferson. Al Jefferson did have some pretty good years with the Bobcats, right? And even when they turned to the Hornets. And he added LaMelo Ball to the team, which is fair. It is fair because the team's already looking like a playoff team, and LaMelo Ball is dragging them to that situation. So, fire. You have the Jazz. I'm going to assume there's no new players for the Jazz. I could be wrong. No new players for the Jazz, but for the Kings, you have Eddie Johnson, I believe, that he just added. Bobby Wanzer, who I'm assuming is someone that played back in forever ago, because I haven't even heard of him. Jack Twyman, who's already on the team. No, he didn't. So he added Twyman as well. Bob Davies. I'm assuming these are players back in the Jerry Lucas, Oscar Robertson days, because that was the only team that won the championship. So I would assume he would add those players. With the Knicks, I'm going to assume there's no new players. Harry Gatlin, okay. Let's see who else. Anyone else? Nope. Bill Bradley's already on the team. Okay. The Lakers are also, you have Jim Pollard. Besides that, I'm going to assume everyone's the same. Oh, yeah, Pau Gasol as well, of course, obviously. Okay, so besides that, no new added players. With the Orlando Magic, I mean, I don't know who else he would need to add. No, no one else. So with the Mavericks, Josh Howard is added, which is okay, pretty cool. Besides that, no added players for the Mavericks. Like, a lot of these players or teams already have like everybody, but like it's the players that like are blatantly missing, which is like a big deal. Brian Taylor for the Nets with Bill Melchioni. I've actually never heard of Bill, but he's now added on to the team. Apparently, it's a player that needs to be added, like John Williamson. For the Nuggets, you have Ralph Simpson, and he also added Byron Beck onto the team with a 92 overall. I couldn't tell you how accurate these ratings are, but like I'm just going to trust him, to be honest with you. Like Reggie Miller being added, that's actually a pretty decent looking Reggie Miller. I'm actually surprised he was able to make it that good with Mel Daniels, who was already on the team. And now you have Roger Brown. So this team is a lot more deep now. A lot like this Pacers team that was so like booty, right? Because they didn't have like Ron Artest, for example. Like, it's just better now. With the Pelicans, this one should be interesting because like I don't know how he's going to make this team look better. Like, Zion was already on the team, but he changed the jerseys to the New Orleans like Pelicans, like back with the New Orleans days, which is actually pretty cool that he changed that. That's fire. I think he added Rondo, Jamal McGuire. I think he added PJ Brown and Julius Randle. Ryan Anderson's now added onto the team, and he was a pretty big player for a while. So like at least it's a more deep all-time Pelicans team. For the Pistons, you have George Yardley. I've actually never heard of George. You have Bailey Howell, Larry Faust. So a couple players added. And Rasheed Wallace, let's go. Man, Rasheed in the end of the Pistons, that just shows you how great the Pistons have been all time. For the Raptors, I'm going to assume there's no added player for the Raptor because, like, you don't need, yeah, there's no added player for the Raptors. For the Rockets, I feel like it's going to be the same too. I feel like there's going to be no added player for the Rockets because they're all, like, legendary players that have the rights to them. Yeah, I was right about that. The Spurs also should have everybody, I think. Oh, I think he added Donnie Freeman. Okay, that's a surprise. Alvin Robertson, that's a huge one because he was the first dude to get a quadruple-double in the NBA ever, and he was on the Spurs, so that's a pretty big one. Okay. Obviously, with the Suns, you have Charles Barkley and Steve Nash. Ooh, that's a hot take. I'm going to disagree. I think Charles Barkley should be considered the greatest Sun of all time because he did drag him to a finals and got an MVP. So I know Steve Nash had 2 MVPs, but like, I don't know. I do think Charles Barkley deserves it more. But now this team is just complete now, right? Like, you have such a complete roster here. I do think maybe CP3 should be here instead of Alvin Adams, right? I feel like that's true. But the Sonics and Thunder, I don't know. I think this should be all the same. It's all the same for this. You added Sam Mitchell, okay, to the Timberwolves. Pretty fire. Besides that, no adds to the Timberwolves, I think. With the Blazers, let's see if he adds anybody. He added Sheed, okay, awesome. Cindy Wicks, anyone else? Lionel Hollins, damn, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Who else? That's it, okay. For the Warriors, Joe Fulks. Who else? Neil Johnston, okay. Paul Arizin was already on the team, I think, though. So a couple names added for the Warriors, but like for the most part the same. And then for the Wizards, there should be a couple players for the Wizards. Like, well, Bellamy is a pretty big name, okay. So that's it for, yeah, so like, okay. Like, you know, it's not like massive names, but you have like Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller and Rasheed Wallace added into the game that were missing before. And that's great because now at least it feels a little better. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, right? But at least it feels a little more accurate, which is clutch, right? So it's a cool roster. I think you should check it out. I think it just makes it feel a little more complete. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. If you like the channel, please give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.